I am a diplomat for the United States of America. Currently I am stuck in an office seminar where this guy won't shut up about waffles. What will I do? Well, you could try to talk him out of it. You know how he is, and you probably have had some experience with that sort of thing before. He might even be willing to listen, if you were persistent enough. Convince him to not talk about waffles. You decide to try something different. You go over to his desk and start talking to him. Hey, Mr. Waffle Man. How are you today? Oh, well, as you can see, my wife has been giving me a lot of trouble lately. Ask him about his wife. So what happened to your wife? She died of cancer. What? That's horrible. It was, but she didn't die of cancer. She died from a heart attack. Question his sanity. That's impossible. My wife would never die of a heart attack. She always ate healthy food and exercised. Threaten him with bombing his entire home country if he doesn't tell you the truth. Okay, calm down. We're going to stop right there. Your wife isn't dead, and neither is she alive. Let's just get this over with. Mr. Boris. Boris. You don't understand anything he says. He seems so distant. So cold. You feel like you've met him somewhere before, but now you can't place it. Say, do you happen to know President Putin? Putin? Yeah, he's the president of Russia. Do you know who he is? No. Do you know anything about him? You shake your head. This man seems so strange. Odd. I guess I mistook you for the wrong Boris then. Huh? Oh no, don't worry about it. It happens sometimes. Anyway, we should be done here soon, because I need to go talk to someone else. You walk away from Mr. Waffle Man and head back towards the door of the building. Press the emergency water sprinkler button on suspicion that Boris is an alien. You press the water sprayer button on suspicion that Boris is an alien. The sprinkler system starts spraying water everywhere. You look around and notice that everyone in the room is wearing black clothing. You also notice that they all seem to be holding guns in their hands. Alright, what the hell are you guys doing holding armed weapons in a diplomatic meeting? We were told to shoot anyone trying to break into the building or kill us. Besides, we have nothing to hide. You turn around and leave the room, closing the door behind you. You call the US military and inform them that you want the aliens removed from the building immediately. They respond by sending a team of soldiers to take care of it. After they arrive, you confront them about why they had to come in the first place. We were trying to harvest cat tonsils to fuel our collapsing society on Mars. The aliens say. You continue to argue with the soldiers until one finally tells you to put your hands up. You comply, and as you do, you see two men grab your arms and drag you out of the room. The next day, Mr. The military puts the aliens in a room with you. You wake up in a room with 3 aliens. One of them looks at you and smiles. Hello, human. He says. I'm Ivan and this is my friend, Mr. Waffle Man. Bloody shit. So you do happen to be not of this earth. Yes, I am indeed of this earth. But we're not really interested in Earth any more than you are. Mr. Waffle Man sighs and shakes his head. Well then, let's get down to business, shall we? What business could you possibly have with a diplomat? Oh, well, if you'll excuse me, I've got some important work to do. You sit there and wait for him to return. Eventually he comes back with a small briefcase. He opens it up and takes out a small metal box inside. I hope those are not cat tonsils. No, they aren't. And why would they be? You open the case and find a small silver disc. You hold it up to your face and stare at it. Then you throw it against the wall in frustration. You reform the disc, which then shows an entire hologram of the Earth. It seems like you can never escape it. Oh, so you aliens got maps now. Interesting. Say, what is this hologram pointing to? It's a map of the world. We use it to navigate, but we also keep it, so that, when we die, we don't wander off into space forever. You look at the Earth and shake your head. Why the hell would you need a hologram of the Earth to not float off into space? Do you know how stupid that sounds? That's because you humans think everything has to be explained in scientific terms. If you didn't, you wouldn't even have to be here. You'll look around and realize that the alien isn't talking to you, he's just floating there. Suddenly he begins speaking again. Hey, look at me, when I'm talking to you. He turns his head toward you and stares at you intently. Look, I want to talk about something important. Something very important. About what? Your planet, he says slowly. And its future. Receives knowledge that the Earth will end up being turned into animorphous, if nothing is done to stop it. So what does this mean exactly? The alien pauses and thinks for a moment. He closes his eyes, as if he's trying to remember something. After a few seconds, he speaks again. You mean that we don't stop this, there'll be no men to reproduce? Exactly. That's why I came to see you. You nod, and he continues. We're going extinct anyway. The human race is dying out right now, but it won't be long before we become nothing more than a memory on the evolutionary scale. Alright, let's go and do something about this. You walk over to the alien and put your hand in his shoulder. He looks down at you, smiles, and nods. Goodbye, my friend. Wait, what? Don't worry, I won't hurt you. I promise. You take a deep breath and turn away from him. He stares back at you with a sad expression in his face. His eyes begin to tear up as he starts crying softly. I get tased and brought to a top-secret facility. You are taken to a secret underground base, where you are placed in a room with several other people who look extremely young. They all seem to be children of some sort, though they aren't really. Some of them have scars, others don't. What the hell? Why do all these kids have huge breasts? Someone answer me. Well, a man walks in and sees you. He looks like he's in his mid-20s, but he doesn't look old enough to be one of the kids. Instead, he seems to be an older man wearing a suit. Mr. Waffle Man, is that you? Yes, that's me. How did you find me? I was looking for someone else. He replies. Anyway, I've been sent by Mr. Bigglesworth to check up on you. But you literally were talking to me before I got knocked out in that room. Oh yes, I am indeed a very powerful wizard. But I assure you, I wasn't sending you here to die. You shake your head and sighs. Okay then, thanks for not killing me. So you're a fucking alien wizard trying to stop him from taking over the world. No, I'm just a regular guy who has a lot of free time on his hands. He laughs. Indeed. Well, you can relax, I think we've found the problem. He begins tapping his fingers against his desk and staring off into space. What could exactly be the source of this antiquity problem? It's, well, I can't tell you, because it would ruin the surprise, but if you could help me figure out how to destroy it completely, I'd be most grateful. The man sits down and taps his feet impatiently. Fine. I'll help. Excellent. Now, there are two ways to destroy this stuff. The first way is to use magic. This method will work for any kind of enemy, but it works best against those made by the Kushan. The Kushan? What the fuck is a Kushan? That's a name given to a race of aliens that live in another dimension. It means the creator or something similar. Apparently, they created everything using their power. That includes anime. You stare at him blankly for a while, before asking, so what does this mean? Skip time, and fast forward to a magic training montage. You watch as various magical creatures such as dragons, wizards and witches perform various spells. Eventually, you see a large screen showing a series of pictures. A few of them show ordinary humans watching anime. Others show them doing things like playing video games or even fighting each other. Okay, but what does this have to do with me learning magic to defeat the entities? I don't know. Maybe nothing at all. Anyway, that's where our second method comes in. We can use the power of science to create a device which will destroy anime forever. You nod slowly and begin tapping your foot impatiently again. Oh no, if we are getting rid of this threat to the United States, then goddamn it I want it to be magic. Well, I suppose it might take some time. but I'm sure we can get around to it eventually. You shrug and continue tapping your foot. Suddenly, the door opens up and Mr. Waffleman walks in. Hold in a moment, why the hell are there two of you? Is this some kind of magic trick? Mr. Waffleman smiles and nods at you. He looks around and sees that he now has two assistants instead of one. I was thinking about having a little fun while we wait for my next shipment to arrive, he says with a wink. Oh God. I hope this is not what I think this is. Don't worry, it isn't. Besides, I told you already that it wouldn't hurt to hear me out. You look at him confused. Why did you bring us here, if this wasn't a joke? Learn magic. You tap your foot impatiently. Alright, I get it. Why are you bringing us here, if this isn't a joke? He shakes his head and sighs. Because I've been studying the matter of destroying him for quite some time now. Yes, that's what the entire conversation was about this whole time. It's true. I thought that maybe, after I destroyed it once and for all, people would stop watching it. However, I couldn't find anyone who actually wanted to watch anime anymore. In fact, most of them were just tired of seeing cute girls do cute things. You literally become a big titty anime girl in front of his eyes. And so I decided to try something else. Instead of trying to convince people that anime is bad, I'd rather just destroy it completely. The problem is, I don't really have any idea how to go about doing this. You shake your head and frown. Mr. Waffleman, I think something bad happened. Very bad. Points to breasts. What do you mean? You point to your chest and say the nipples are very hard right now. They are almost like needles. Mr. Waffleman stares at you in disbelief. Are you serious? Are you telling me that these aren't natural? Well, of course they aren't. I used to be a guy 5 minutes ago. Wait, so you're saying that these are fake too? You smile and nod. They are. And I'm going to prove it. You pull down your pants and reveal your penis. Mister. Wait, why do I have a vagina now as well? Well, I guess it makes sense that I'd make you into a woman. You blush and look away. Thanks. Mr. Waffleman chuckles nervously. Anyway, let's see where this goes from here. Gets shot in the head. You quickly run over to the door and grab it. Come on, open up. Mr. Waffleman opens the door and points to a large room filled with many machines. A few seconds later, you feel an intense pain shoot through your body. Is this the end? Have I become the very thing I swore to destroy? A big titty anime girl. A bright light shines through the window and you fall backwards onto the ground. Your eyes widen when you realize that you can no longer see anything except blackness. Ascend into big titty anime heaven. Your eyelids slowly close and you drift off to sleep. You awaken in heaven. It feels wonderful to finally be free of all this. However, you notice that there is a strange man standing next to you. He looks like he has been watching you for quite some time now and seems to know everything about you. Hey there God, I just have one question to ask. He smiles and nods his head. Yes? You raise an eyebrow. Why am I still trapped in this world? The man raises an eyebrow as well. Exclamation point tits bounce up and down, as I ask God, why I'm an anime girl. God laughs loudly. Oh my dear little anime girl, you must really want to be one of them to ask such a question. You smile and nod. Yeah, I mean I don't understand why I'm stuck in this world, if I wanted to go back home or something. Am I destined to be your hentai slave up here? In heaven? God laughs again. No. Anime girls are meant to be lusted after by men. They are not supposed to be worshipped like goddesses. Besides, you already answered your own question. You shake your head in disbelief. What the hell is that supposed to mean? God sighs. That's what it means, silly anime girl. If you had any common sense at all, you would have realized that I was talking about the fact that you're a pretty woman who wants to get fucked by men. You frowned. Fine. Just let me into the gates. God shrugs. I suppose you could try to convince me that you're not a whore, but I doubt if you'll succeed. You roll your eyes and begin walking towards the door. God stops you, before you reach it. Oh, what could you possibly want from me to stop me, when I'm this close to getting inside? God chuckles. Well, I could tell you that I'd rather see you die than live under another man's control. That would certainly make things easier for me. You look at him with wide eyes. Wait, you want me to kill you? The diplomat, unable to talk his way into saving the human race, becomes a big titty girl and dies, only to kill God.